So you want the best ever track guide for Monaco? Well, I flew to Monaco and I literally asked Formula 1, Formula E, WEC drivers for their tips. And by the end of this video, you are definitely going to be faster at Monaco. Let's start on the straight. How it is when you're driving Sebastian Buemi style at Monaco, because you're a race winner. What are you doing when you're driving Monaco, when you're going through Sainte, Dévote, when you're going through the hairpin, for example?
Down the straight, if you look at the straight, it's not very straight, so you have to you keep cornering.
The braking is uphill. Doesn't look like a lot, but the braking is slightly uphill. So you want to have the distribution a little bit more forward. So what I will do in Formula E, these will be the gears in Formula 1, but in Formula E, this is the brake distribution for us. So I will distribute the brake slightly forward in the straight.
You get to the braking point, you know that you're gonna slow down the best if the steering wheel is straight. So you try to rotate the car a little bit before the braking, and while you brake, you try to keep the
lining it up.
Yeah, you're trying to line it up to make sure you brake with the straightest car possible. Then of course you aim for the curb, and by taking the curb, it's going to be difficult to keep the wheel still, you know, so you'll end up moving a bit.
And then as soon as you go up, you turn in a specific speed that allows the front tire to be at the exact slip. The velocity that you turn the wheel
affects the slip.
Affects the slip of the front tire, so you try to optimize it.
And then there's a tiny curb on the exit that you end up obviously
up
touching.
To the barrier.
Yes. So you try to get there as close as possible, but not too close because it's a bit dusty.
Straight for braking, in, over the curb, probably a little bit of a moment on the exit, up the hill.
Then you go up the hill, obviously you imagine like that. Casino Square, very, very tricky place because you get on top of the hill and the car gets really light on the top there.
It's a completely different braking, so you jump a bit. So you need to go back with the braking the brake settings. Then you try to position the car completely straight. When you land, you have a lot of force in the tire. Then when you land, you try to turn the steering wheel.
So you use that force when it's loaded.
You use that force to turn the car.
Then in, get a lot of understeer and FE through here, close to the wall on the left, then right, close to the wall on the right.
As you exit turn 4, you avoid a little bit.
Looks so cool.
Yeah, exactly.
This track is very flowy, so you need to be, you're always on the edge, but always trying to maximize track width and going from one corner to another, avoiding bumps.
Then braking for, can't remember the name, but into the camber, locking up the front pretty much every time.
Very nicely for the next corner, so you really need to try to avoid it. Brake straight as late as you can. Get close to the wall on the inside, touch the curb if you can. Then again, loves, you brake straight, brake late, turn as much as you can, which means most likely like that, you know.
So in the hairpin, you have two ways of doing it. You can some drivers, they will go, because this hand, after 180 degrees, the hand is stuck. So what you can do if you need a little bit more than 180 degrees, and don't forget in Formula E, we don't have power steering. So the car actually, it's very heavy to turn the steering. So it's very hard to turn with a single hand. So what you can do, you can slide your hand slightly over the steering to create a little bit more angle.
Do you modify the wheel for that?
No. You just slide a little bit here, or you hold it here, or you just slide it here to hold it. Or if you're able to turn, you try to turn it as much as possible with the wheel. So either you slide the right wheel slightly under and the left slightly over to have a little bit more angle, so you can almost do a 270.
And then all the way into Fairmont, which I'd actually swap hands for when I could do that. Then over the curb.
And then you have the two corners before the tunnel where you ride the curb, you open the wheel, you turn again. And then in the tunnel, obviously, you're back straight. You stay close to the wall on the left. Then you take the corner flat. Not that easy in Formula E. Then exit of the tunnel, you stay on the left just to make sure you do a bit the same as in turn 1. You line it up straight.
Prepare the car for braking and then turn and then brake at about 150. In, curb, straighten the car up quickly as possible.
You brake on the top of the hill. The car is a bit light, so the rear tends to move. And then very importantly in the chicane, you try to go as close as you can to the guardrail. Yeah. Because the closer you get there, the more space you have after.
Are you looking at it ever? Is it in your peripheral vision?
Yeah, of course. You look in front, but you basically see the wall there. You try to, as I said, get as close as you can, just to make sure you have more room on the right. And then Tabac. Tabac is a very tricky one.
Through to Tabac. Tabac, you got to really send it in. Close to the wall on the outside and send it straight in for the swimming pool.
Similar to the one before. You turn in, you go as close as you can.
What are you looking at there?
Now you look at the apex basically initially as you turn in, but you want to go, you nearly want to touch the wall, just to make sure you have more room on the outside.
Yeah, into the last part of swimming pool.
And then the swimming pool chicane very fast. You try to be nearly flat with Formula E. You ride the curbs. You brake straight for that chicane just down there. Second swimming pool. There again, the closer you go to the wall, the better.
Do you hit the curb on the inside?
You do, but not too much. If you do too much and you bottom out, you end up in the wall on the outside.
Does that curb change year on year or not?
Normally now they've kept it similar. They used to put a bollard, remove it, a sausage curb, but most likely you take the normal red bit, red and white bit, but not too much. And then you try to get close to the wall. But again, if you take the curb too much, you're gonna launch the car and land in the wall. So you have to be careful with that.
Set the car up for braking. Something like that.
In Rascasse, brake straight, normal corner, let's say. And then the last corner is a very tricky one because you have a little bit of a dip, so it's easy to lock the wheel, but you have such a long straight after that the exit is extremely important. So you really try to rotate the car early, open the wheel and go early on power.
And then in, big moment on the exit on the curb.
I sometimes do these visualization laps, and if you're too fast, it means you're a little bit uncomfortable and the car feels faster than what you actually perceive it to be. And if it's slower, you're more comfortable and a little bit more in control. So as you apply the throttle, you need to get the steering wheel straight as much as you can. For the grip that we have, the torque is a lot. So the quicker we can get the wheel straight, the better.
It's a relatively low grip.
Yeah, exactly. The faster that we can get the wheel straight, the better.
It's amazing hearing you go through that, because what might seem like a there are straights in it. There's not really straights.
No, there is not. And also everything you can do to line up the car, to make sure you brake straight, you improve your braking. You always keep in mind, if there is a bit of a straight following, you want to have a good exit because you want to make sure you carry the momentum out. You get as close as you can to the wall because it opens up the corner all the time, you know.
Is it because if you're close to the wall, you
have more space after?
Yeah. And
if you leave half a meter to the left, you have a lot less space on the outside, and then you can most likely lose speed.
You could try and do a visualization of what you want to do on the first lap. I do it mainly for qualifying laps, just to try and get the time as close as I can. This time actually was quite bad for me. Usually I'm a bit better than that.
Well, Lucas, that's been amazing. Next time we'll do a whole lap or something on the wheel. Maybe we'll use your wheel or compare. This is actually a sim racing wheel from one of the brands, but there's many like this that are carbon fiber and.
Oh, there is even WhatsApp here. Yeah. And WhatsApp somebody.
Maybe for your son that one.
Yes.
See you later. Lucas, we've gone so far over time, but I apologise.
Thank
you so much.
No, big pleasure.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if you have a quick message for your fans who've been watching you in many series. You're here at Envision, you know, have had some really strong moments using the Jaguar powertrain. Any messages to your fans?
Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Just make sure you continue to watch Formula E. And yeah, I hope to see you soon on the racetrack.
I can't wait, and maybe another victory for you as well.
Thank you.